This is the vault.
Come on in, guys. It's like an upside down bathtub with wheels. Okay, have I got my entire group? The vault is divided into two rooms. This room and there's another room next door. We're going to do them both. And when they renovated the museum, thankfully they put things sort of in thematic order, which makes it a whole lot easier for me to do a tour, especially in 20 minutes. So I have 10 minutes in this room, 10 minutes in that room. Like I said, it's going to be a kind of a teaser tour. I'm going to point out things that I think might be of interest to you. If you have questions, by all means ask. Some cars don't have a story. I don't really have a whole lot to tell you about. Seriously. So over here we've got brass era cars. Brass was used on the radiators and all the hardware up until about 1911, 12, 13 when nickel plate came out. These are the beginnings of the auto industry. So you have a 1904 Studebaker horse-drawn carriage right next to the first model of Cadillac, a 1903 Model A, designed by Henry Ford. Henry Ford's previous company prior to Ford Motor was the Henry Ford Company, which was later renamed Cadillac by the investors who were funding him. So the first Cadillac, 1903 Model A, was available in a two-seat or a four-seat, and of course Cadillac named after the founder of the city of Detroit. You can see these are all sort of rudimentary through here after about 1908, 1910, 1911. You get over into the teens and 20s, and now you're starting to see some style. You still have a Model T, the black second from the end is a Model T, so it's really plain Jane, next to a 1922 Chevy that has a little more style. Down here at the blue one in the middle is a 28 Studebaker President. So in 24 years, we've gone from the horse-drawn carriage to the Studebaker President. Two-tone paint, etched glass on the wind wings, nice chrome. Chrome came in the late 20s, right? We also have the Model A, and look at how much things have changed by 1929-ish compared to the Model T, which again was very rudimentary. This was Edsel Ford's doing. Henry believed simpler the better. Don't dress it up, don't add anything to the cost. His son Edsel had more of a sense of style, more of a flair, and so he was finally allowed to exert some of that for the company's cars. The station wagon, by the way, the name for station wagon originated with horse-drawn wagons that went down to the train station. They picked up supplies. Hotels would use them to pick up guests and luggage. So when they put a motor in it, they just continued to call it station wagon. Simple enough. Down here, we've got a couple of Grand Touring cars. Sir, can I have you stick with me, please? We'll get over there in a minute, I promise. Literally a minute. We have a couple of touring cars over here. 1923 Mercedes, not the Mercedes-Benz, they didn't merge until 26, but a 1923 Mercedes Targa Florio, one of three brought to the U.S. My understanding is that's Mrs. Peterson's favorite, that was Mrs. Peterson's favorite car in their collection. We also have a 28 DuPont, as in the chemical family. This is a Speedster, one of six built. It has a Lalique leaded crystal radiator mascot. If this was not enough bling for you, you could get a light underneath it, and if that wasn't enough bling, you could get a rotating color wheel so it changed colors as you drove. It's also got what's called Woodlight headlamps. Woodlight was the manufacturer. They look really cool, they put out no light. You may as well walk down the sidewalk with two flashlights for all these put out. Beautiful car, it's a boat tail in the rear. Three of them were done in boat tail, the other three were done in a more standard traditional rumble seat rear end. Okay? And then the Pedroso, one of two built by the Marquis de Pedroso of Spain to race in Le Mans. This has variable valve timing adjusted from the dash, which in 1927 was quite a feat. Today we have that, but it's all computer controlled and everything else. Coming down here, we've got the President's, or the head of state vehicles. The Chaika is Russian. That was Nikita Khrushchev's car, one of two built. The other one was for Yuri Gagarin, the Soviet cosmonaut. Saddam Hussein's Mercedes-Benz 600, Pullman Landaulet. These were only available with the convertible top over the important people. They were only available to heads of state like the Pope, presidents, dictators, etc. The Hongqi is a Chinese, not honky, but Hongqi. And Imelda Marcos's Mercedes, Imelda and Ferdinand Marcos's Mercedes 500 SEL. Juan and Eva Perón's 1938 Packard. This is a dual cal Parade Phaeton. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? And then the Pope mobiles for Pope John Paul II's 1998 visit to Mexico City. He was taken with the car, he blessed it, but the secret is Swiss Guard, I'm sorry, not the Secret Service, but his Swiss Guard would not allow him to ride in it because of the assassination attempt on his life in the early 90s. So he blessed it, but he never rode it. So some cars have a better story than others. If you've been to the Nixon library, you've probably seen his Lincoln Continental limousine. The library is now being renovated, so they've loaned it to us to display with the other presidential cars. This is a 1969 Lincoln Continental, armor-plated, pardon the wheels. They put it on steelies, as we call them, to transport it over here. I think they've got the regular wheel rims and the hubcaps probably in the trunk. The bar that comes up out of the trunk lid is for the Secret Service guys. The bumper folds down and becomes a standing step for them to step on. And the sunroof opens towards the front. Eisenhower's dual cal Parade Phaeton. This is a Chrysler Imperial. Originally one of three built in 1952, refreshed with a new front end and new rear end in 1956 to reflect better styling. This was used by Eisenhower, Nixon as vice president, and I think it was retired during the Ford administration. FDR's 1942 armor-plated limousine. This was the first armor-plated limo built for a president. Prior to that, they had boilerplate, which was the toughest thing they had. What else do we have over here? Yeah, 10 minutes really does go by quick. Okay. Let's go. I've got some celebrity cars over here and some hot rods, so let's go check those out. I'm sorry this has to be so fast. We're very specific. I've got 20 minutes to get you in and out. Okay, in the movie car section, we have a 66 T-Bird from Thelma and Louise. This clearly is not the car that went off the cliff at the end of the movie, but it is one of the many that they used in making the movie. We have a 66 Chrysler Imperial Black Beauty from the Green Hornet TV show, not the movie, but the TV show. For the TV show, they used 2 cars out of Chrysler's executive motor pool. For the movie, I understand they used 26. Wow. Okay. Katharine Hepburn's 65 Chrysler Imperial convertible. Although she had a chauffeur, she preferred to drive herself, and he rode in the passenger seat. Go figure. Honda S2000 from Too Fast. Well, it was black in Fast and Furious. In the second installment, which was Too Fast, Too Furious, they repainted it pink. Really, really pink. From your childhood, Mach 5 from Speed Racer. This was actually going to be put into production. I don't know who was planning on buying it, but we have a Stutz Black convertible. The first one was produced, ordered by Elvis, actually delivered to Evel Knievel, and then later owned by Wayne Newton. Elton John's Delahaye. This is a 1939 Delahaye convertible. And then Jack Nicholson's Mercedes-Benz 600, which was used for the Witches of Eastwick. Beautiful, beautiful car. Very well engineered. In terms of hot rods and stuff like that, we have Sniper, which was built by Chip Foose. This was based on a 54 Plymouth Savoy, which was about the most pedestrian-looking car you will ever find. It has a V10 Viper engine under the hood, a Mercedes-Benz transmission and driveline, Mercedes E-Class headlights. It's quite the car when it's out on the road, and it does actually come up so it doesn't bottom out. Ed Big Daddy Roth's Outlaw. The thing that was so innovative about this in the 50s was that the whole passenger compartment was one piece of fiberglass. It was all made from fiberglass. Used a Cadillac engine, He'd go into junkyards and just pull pieces and parts from random cars that he liked and use those to build his hot rods. A gift from Bob Hope to John Wayne. This is, they were both famous for practical jokes. This is the Texas, what did he call it? Texas Bullshit Harvester. It has a Chevy V8 back here. The gear shift lever is back here. And on the back, it's got this harvest wheel thing with a pile of fake bullshit in it.
Wow. And that's the Texas Bullshit Scraper.
Texas Bullshit Scraper.
Is that street legal?
No, I would doubt it. And you know, John Wayne was physically a big man, so I can't imagine how he fit in here and then reached back to put it in gear. I don't quite know how that would work. For those of you who are hot rod fans, Mr. Peterson, of course, was publisher of Hot Rod Magazine, among many others. Peterson Publishing, if you're familiar with that. We have the largest collection of AMBR, America's Most Beautiful Roadster winners, anywhere in the world. And you can usually tell what era they're from by looking at the styling on them. XR6 is 1963 with the bicycle fenders, the asymmetrical front end, metal plate paint. 1969, a little more psychedelic, like somebody was on something when they built it. 1971 and 75, you've got the mural down the side, like the old vans with the portholes and the mural, you know, the high-low carpet. And then you get into the late 80s with Orange Twist and Golden Star, which has 24 karat gold-plated carburation and suspension and all that, brakes and all that stuff. Very cool. These cars typically don't get run. Most of the cars in the collection do get exercised, but because of the chrome pipes, they'll blue. The chrome will actually blue if it gets too hot and it never comes out. So these cars get pushed into place. Two more winners, 2000 and 2001. This is Chip Foose's Deuce 32, and this is Impact by Boyd Coddington. We have a 31 Model A. So this is similar to the Woody that we saw over there. And then we have Rita Hayworth's 1953 Cadillac Series 62 body by Ghia, one of two built. So underneath, the mechanics on all the running gear, pure Cadillac. You could take this to any Cadillac dealership. Prince Ali Khan, who was in line to inherit his father's fortune and become the most wealthy man in the world, gave this to Rita, his wife at the time, as sort of a peace offering. Their marriage was on the rocks and he was hoping this would salvage it. She kept the car and ditched him. We have a Tucker. If you've seen the movie about Preston Tucker that Francis Ford Coppola did, 50 of these were built. Innovative safety features included the Cyclops light that swung with the when you turned the wheel. Pop-out front windshield, so it had safety glass. Padded dash, seatbelts were standard. This is in 1948. Okay, big advances for 1948. He couldn't get the financing to make the company go. The whole thing went belly up after 50 cars were produced. Let's go over here real quick. '52 Ferrari Barchetta. Barchetta in Italian is a little boat. Body is by Touring Superleggera. This car was used in this was owned by Henry Ford II. Bought it from Ferrari directly. It was Henry's personal car. 13,000 original miles. It was used in the styling studio for the original T-Bird. This car has an egg crate grille. It has a hood scoop. If you look at the Touring wing logo, okay, it has exhaust ports that come out through the back of the car. On this car, you have the egg crate grille. You have the hood scoop. You have exhaust ports that come out through the rear of the car. In 55, they used the checkered flag. In 56, they switched to this turquoise blue winged Thunderbird logo, which is very close to the Touring logo. Okay? It wasn't the only car that influenced it, but it definitely had an influence. And there's a photo of this car in this back.
Look at this gold. Did you get a picture of that gold?
The red? That is the Corvette Italian, one pre-built by Carroll Shelby and two other investors. Corvette underpinnings, 1959 Corvette underpinnings. Presented to General Motors as an alternative to Ferrari, who beat up Le Mans and all that. General Motors said thank you, but no. And that's when he went to Ford and started trying to build the Shelbys and that's how it was. Okay.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, now I guess we'll go to the other building. Oh yeah, go to Lorraine. Let's just go to the story.
Somebody asked me how long the tour normally is. I normally take an hour and a half to do this tour. Wow. And I'm pushing right up at 90 minutes every single time. So I would encourage you, if you're interested, to come back and take the tour, because I go into a lot more detail and cover a lot more cars. Herbie from Herbie Fully Loaded with Lindsay Lohan, who may have been fully loaded when she drove it. This was one of multiple cars that were used in the movie. Does anyone know where Herbie got number 53? This is racing number. Anyone a fan of the Dodgers? No one?
Yes,
Wow.
we are old enough to remember.
Okay. Don Drysdale was number 53, and when they made the original Herbie movie, the producer was looking for the number, and he really admired Don Drysdale. He was a good player, good character. They knew they wouldn't have any problems with it, so they used number 53. The Dodgers, as I understand it, have since retired number 53, so nobody can sully Herbie's image. Got a couple of Packers, 35, Short Phaeton. This has a V12 in it. This would have been great if we lived in the Hamptons during the summer. You know, you have a driver, you have a second windshield to keep the bugs out of your teeth and all that. Then we got a 1930 740.
Having fun?
Yeah. That Dodge Charger, I don't know if you guys seen, is the one that came out in the previous Fast 7. The one that comes off the plane. That's the actual one.
That's cool.
Beautiful, beautiful Art Deco lines on it. It's a rumble seat convertible, so the rumble seat's back here. The trunk is a proper trunk. It's actually back home. Ernest Ford ran a smart car. I guess he wanted the incognito, so he drove a smart car. This is a custom This is a beautiful, beautiful 68 lower. It's actually got you can't tell on this light. The divides right along the bottom piece. The light is a little dark up here, but it's just gorgeous. And typically we have cars of his here on display. This one's actually in private storage. Rita Hayworth's, not Rita Hayworth, Jane Mansfield's pretty pink Lincoln Premier. She's the spokesperson for Lincoln, so she got new cars from them on a regular basis. The green Impala is owned by Billy Gibbons with ZZ Top. It's called Slam Pala. It's been slammed to the ground. You will frequently see him here when we have auctions, like RM auctions or bonds. They're doing an event where you'll see him wandering around looking at cars to buy his selection. Porsche 901, this was the predecessors to the 911. They built 40 of them, and then Peugeot came in and said, no. We trademark all the 3-digit numbers with a 0 in the middle. You cannot call it 901. So they called it 911. True story. Bugatti, EV110. This was in the early 90s. It was produced at the same time, right about the time the economy was going into a worldwide. Produced at the same time as the Jaguar Station 20, which was supposed to have a top speed of 220 miles an hour, but it achieved a top speed of 213. Ford GT from 2006. This was originally a concept. They came out with it to celebrate the company's 100th anniversary in 2003. So when they put it into production, they kept the headlight bezel, which paid tribute to the 100 years. The turn signal was a 1, the bright light and the regular light were zeros. Now, if you're dyslexic, we look at it on that side, but otherwise we look at it on this side. In the middle here, we got Triton. This is a show car. It's based on a 59 El Camino. It's got a 61 Cadillac front end, a 60 Cadillac rear end, a Nomad tailgate that goes down below, into the body, and a all glass top. It's quite the show car. Not practical, but it's quite the show car. Fred Astaire, green. Rolls-Royce car, 27 Rolls-Royce car. He had that all the way into the 50s. You take it overseas, or to England with it, if he's going on tour. He put it on the ship and take it over with him, along with his driver. Okay, I'm now over.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to head back this way. I'm sorry, I would love to spend more time because I love to be down here, but I've gotten my
The
instructions.
next one's at 6:20.
Yeah, 6 o'clock is my next one.
Peter,
Yeah.
the cars to repair, how many of them belong to museums, how many of them are stored by people?
The question is, how many of the cars down here belong to the museum and how many are stored? There are only maybe 3 or 4 in this part of the vault that are privately held. Everything else belongs to either Mr. and Mrs. Peterson's collection or the Peterson Museum's collection. So aside from the Billy Gibbons car and the John DeAgostino car, there might be 1, possibly 2 others. Like that Jaguar, which I think is in private storage and they're probably doing some work on it.
Does the museum store cars as well?
This is from the Fast
Space
and
full right
Furious.
now, but yes, we do. I can get you if you're interested.
Fast and Furious.
So if you want your parking space back because your husband's collection is too big, call City. We may have 1 or 2 spaces left, but I think the private storage is full.